Stop that ship! Lift them!
My goodness!
Hey, what's up, YouTube? My name is John, and if you haven't been here before, welcome to my channel. I know I haven't posted a video in quite some time. That's ultimately because I've been doing some CAD work in the past year, and that's where this video comes in. I just want to show it off. So why don't we jump right into it? If you're not familiar with what I do, I generally build DL44 blasters. Usually build on a Denix, modified Denixes, but in the past year I decided to take it to the next level, and I'm this time designed up everything from scratch. The whole blaster has been recreated, and I did the Hero from Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. The Bespin and stem bridge from Empire and Jedi, and the Hero from A New Hope, which we'll start with right here. So let me just show this bad boy off. Here we go. Yeah, so it came out really nicely, I believe. You know, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to build all these blasters as accurate as I possibly could, including all the idiosyncrasies that are actually found on the actual film props. Like, for example, in this one, it's got the offset rail, so one side is longer than the other. It's got the this little detail here on the front. It's a little chip out of it, if you can see. You know, and this is actually one of the things I want to do. See that picture up there? I know it's blurry, but that's the actual film prop. I'll put a quick picture of it right here so you can see a clear picture of it. And you notice the flash hider, how it's bent upwards when it's resting down. This here is the first print. It's the same one. It's the first one I did. It's considered my, well, it's a test print ultimately. And but anyways, but the flash hider came out, works out really good. It's just that the detailing on the back I wasn't really happy with, so I wanted to revisit that. You know, this one here, you can see them both side by side, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I just made it deeper and more predominant. But anyways, the flash hider moves, you know, like the actual film prop itself. You know, it swivels left and right. There's a little stop on it, so it won't go past that. And it also won't go left or right. It'll only go up marginally so. And the reason I did that is so when displaying it, I could put it underneath the picture as it is, and the flash hider will bend up just like it does in that picture. And it's the same on this one. Like I said, you can see it here. You know, it just hitches there. That's one of the things I wanted to add, one of the idiosyncrasies I was talking about, one of the many. But let's just show off this blaster and some of its details. You notice I got Pat's patch in there on this side here. We got, if you can see it, Carson's lump, I think it's called. I used a stencil for the rail. I used the actual reed cylinders, reverse engineered those, and then created the heatsink grill as accurately as I could to the film prop. And then since we're on this side here, I know I showed already these little scratches, but on the inside of the scope, let's see if I can show that off there. You're going to see CW number 2602. And that's how it looked on the actual film prop itself. On this side, it's going to have the Hensoldt writing on the scope, and then underneath the scope, underneath the wheel, it's got 9761. And now the scope wheel itself is resin. That's the only resin on this. Scope wheel on the base, just because I want to capture really small details, and resin's good for that. The rest of this blaster is fully printed in multi-jet fusion, which is extremely strong and very durable, so you don't have to worry about this thing breaking at all. And on the back side of the scope, I created those scratches actually in CAD itself. Same way with these numbers that you're going to see right here. On the top, I did this for the blasters. All those numbers had to be created in CAD because you can't find a file that duplicates that. So I had to hand draw them all to make them accurate. So I did the same on the scope back of the bell, the scope bell. And then I just put some silver paint to make them pop. Speaking of those numbers, on this side here, we're gonna have the serial number 2813 with the 2 offset. And then it's got the underneath that, I believe on this side is the crown over U. And then it's got the military acceptance stamp on this side here. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, on the back of the blaster, so it's believed that this prop was made a top Mauser, bottom Mauser, 2 separate Mausers were used in assembly. So that means the serial numbers in the back won't match that 2813. So I had to use specific numbers in order to duplicate that. And the one on the silver, on the lock frame, is 52577, which is May 25th, 1977. If you're not familiar with that date, just look up what took place and I think it will make sense. And then below that, it's 6101. That's what's down here. And the reason I use that, I like to use dates that, first off, are relevant to the prop itself on whatever level. And for me, that's a very important date because that date was the first post on an RPF thread, and on the RPF, a certain thread was created in that date. And that thread was a hero thread of this blaster specifically, created by Carson, aka Deadbolt, and Pat K-Pax. That's what they go by, their handles on the RPF. And that thread is like a Bible to many people, and including myself. And this blaster actually has lineage directly to that because Carson was kind enough to share his own CAD design of a C96 Mauser to help me in recreating this one. His was about, I don't know, 95% done, if not fully done. He just didn't have the grips, or at least he didn't share them with me. So, but anyhow, regardless, so this blaster has direct lineage to that, which is very humbling to me, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you, and it means a lot to me for many reasons. So that was very fitting to put that serial number at the very bottom. I think it's perfect for this blaster. I also, for the back on the scope, all these hinges are all lined up correctly, and the same for the front as well. And the wheel is turned inwards as it was on the actual film prop. What else do we got here? Yeah, this all works. I mean, it doesn't work, but I mean, toy wise it works. It's got a safety here, you know, and then yeah, and this here has a little spring in it. You slide it forward, it'll stay up like that. But yeah, that's the hero prop. Now for the grips, I had to do that by hand. I couldn't figure out how to do it in the file, which I originally wanted to do. So I just, when the files, I just scraped it out in hand. But it came out okay. But yeah, this is the A New Hope Hero from Star Wars, recreated pretty close to how it is, or how it was in the actual film prop. Yeah, the filming prop. So I'm really happy with how it came out, and I just wanted to show it off. So let's move on to the next in line here, which is the Besbin blaster. This is the hero version of that Han Solo carried in The Empire Strikes Back. The base Mauser is similar to the, well, similar, it's pretty much the exact same as the one the Hero's built on, as they all are, that I'm showing you today. I used an overlay of Luke Skywalker's blaster to create the flash hider, get it in scale. So that came out really well. I'll show a quick picture of what I did there. Cool. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that. Did I mention that? I'll do it again if I didn't. But I'm going to show an overlay of how I designed up the bull barrel flash hider here. So boom. Let's get back to the BES bin here. So one of the things I wanted to create when I was talking about idiosyncrasies was the scope and the mount. There's a famous picture of Solo holding it up like this for a photo, and you know, he's looking at it and doing all sorts of fun stuff with it. But you'll notice the scope mount is off center. It's tilted back. So I put a hinge inside this blaster, so it'll only rotate straight forward and it'll stop back here. That's it. So you can display it or play with it however you want, but that's in there. I'll show a picture here of the picture I just referred to if you're not familiar with it, so you can see it. But anyhow, yeah, so that's kind of fun. That's one of the things I wanted to do. And then for the stamping on the back, the Mauser stamping that's right there, again, that had to be drawn up in CAD. Now the serial numbers are not known for this blaster. So you'll notice the serial number on this one is 52180. Oh, sorry, no, it's 71342. That's what I put on the Mauser. 52180, you know, since I just referred to that, that's what's on the M19 scope, you know. And again, look up that date, May 21st, 1980. I think, you know, maybe you're catching on. And then for this one here, since it's Han Solo's blaster, for the Mauser itself, when I was choosing the serial number, because it's not known, I chose 71342, which is Harrison Ford's birthday. Considering this is Solo's blaster, I thought it was kind of relevant to put on Harrison Ford's birthday. For Luke's BES bin, which I also have designed up, I used Mark Hamill's birthday, put it on the Mauser. And you'll see it on the back as well. Let's see, get this in focus. So, but this one, so all the serial numbers match up on this one. Just like the Hero, it does have the S over N. And it's got all the stamping in there. Yeah. You know, you can even see possibly the top Mauser stamping up here. I just had to get those about 40 thousandths of an inch deep in order for them to actually show up. That's how deep I did all the stamping, honestly. But yeah, it came out really nice. Let me just show it off here a little bit. The grips had to be created from scratch. But yeah, and again, this one has all the bells and whistles that the other one has. Safety, you know, oh yeah, the sight works as it should. So yeah, it's all fun. And now lastly, this is the stem bridge blaster from Return of the Jedi. I built a safety plug for it, you know, cosplay plug. This plug's interchangeable. You can take it out and it actually works for the BES bin as well. You know, you put that in there, which is nice for cosplaying. These blasters are actually going to someone who is going to be in the Star Wars, who's going to Star Wars Celebration in the UK, and he's going to be cosplaying in all of the, for each one of these characters actually. So yeah, so it just lined up when I was building these blasters. He was asking me to build them when he actually wanted it on a Denex, and for mentioning this, and I was like, dude, I think I have something better for you. Perfect for cosplay, is they're all 3D printed, you know. So, and with the safety plug, you know, it should help allow him to bring it in. I would think, anyways. Yeah, really cool. Quickly sidetracked, but this guy's OCD level is beyond equal to mine. He's a great dude. His Indiana Jones cosplay is tops as well. But he's getting his costume built by Chris, Chris from Red Cup Apparel, and Adam from Curlium Dry Goods is doing his holster, which coincidentally enough, I was like, I know these guys, man. So to be aligned with those guys and help creating the cosplay for this gentleman, it's an honor. I'm pretty ecstatic about it to be within the other two's company. So that's pretty fun. But getting back to the stem bridge, the scope mount is, again, I use an overlay of the actual prop to create the scope mount, how it's lined up. It's actually angled downwards. Everything's angled it's angled down. So it's subtly, but it's there if you notice it. Let me take this off here. But start to look at it, it's a flash hider. And so the serial number on this one here, I just used the date 52583. Since we're this far into the video, that is May 25th, 1983, which is the release date of Return of the Jedi. Spoiler alert. And I use that for the backside as well. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. And for the greeblies, there's some pictures of extra set of greeblies that went to auction. So I used those in order to create these. The grips had to be created from scratch. They all had to be designed up in CAD, and I had to draw each individual line into the file itself, and then add a cutter to it and cut them. It took forever to do, but I think the effect of it came out really, really, really good. It's deep enough that the 3D print captures it. Again, this prop itself is all multi-jet fusion, except for the very front of the scope itself. Just this part here, literally this. The bells, multi-jet fusion, this here is resin, just so I could capture those details. They're very small and I wanted to capture them. Now, here, let me take the scope off. I created, obviously all these parts are created, but this weaver doesn't exist anymore, so I'm really proud of how this came out. I had to create it from pictures, but it came out really, really nice, and it's really nice. That is all multi-jet fusion, including the screws on the top and the screw that holds this into place. Multi-jet fusion is definitely strong enough that it's not going to break, so you don't have to worry about that. And then let me attach this back onto the scope, or onto the mount. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now, since this is for the gentleman as well, he's gonna be able to look at this video. I'm gonna take this one apart so he can have a little bit of a blueprint on how to do so himself. So take the flash hider off. That's the first thing you'd do. You do the same thing for the Bespin. Take the flash hider off. So for the Hero though, what you would do is you take the flash hider and bull barrel right off. Originally I was gonna have this glued on, but then I was thinking about it, and it's probably best not to do that. So it's already like a press fit, and you gotta put a little tape on there. So that'll slide in there. It won't come out. I mean, it's tight enough that it's not coming off, but if you wanna take the Mauser apart, it's best to, again, take this off. Because this has got the big scope on there, I'm gonna show you how to do it on the Bespin, or the stem bridge, just so you have an idea. I can take the scope off this one easier, that's all, to show you. So let's take the flash hider off, as I mentioned. And the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna pull back the hammer. And then on the back side here, you see a latch. So you push that latch up, and then just slowly tap the front as it slides out. See it sliding out? and then you can just take that right off, you know, and then this separates here. So there you go. Yeah, see, look how intricate this is. I mean, look at all the parts that are involved with that just to make that work, right? It's pretty insane. You can thank Carson for that. So anyways, yeah, so you push up on this and the hammer pops up. If the safety's up at all, like that, it won't go up, so it has to be down. But it does work. Yeah, so... well, let me put it back together. So that's that. And then, well, before I do that, there's also the this part here. And, you know, you push down on that, and it slides right out. It's got this part here that allows it to work properly. And then there's a spring inside here. So you just push that down and slide it forward, and it locks in to each place the way it's designed appropriately. Anyhow, and then that slides back into place here. And then put it back together. You just do the reverse of what I did. There's a male-female component here. So it just slides in. You have to make sure the hammer is pulled back. It slides into place. Well, see, I pushed it up. See, I'm pushing up on that bad boy there. So let's try it this way. Slide that in here. Actually, it's easier this way because you can see it. You know, see how it slides? The male-female component there of it, right there. That's where it slides in. And then from here, you just slide it back onto the Mauser, like this. When you get to this point here, it shouldn't hit, but just be careful that this is up and it slides in appropriately so you don't hit the bottom and you don't scrape it right here. Just, you know, and then it just should slide right into place. And then the latch again, you just pull down and you're back. Attach the flash hider and put your scope back on. If you took it off, I would suggest to take it off, but that screws in as it should. And there you go. And now you're back. So yeah. It's a bit of a long video, I'm sorry, there's a lot of details involved with it. But these are your A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi DL-44 blasters. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. Peace out, till next time, later.